y'all, welcome. It's Hazel from the Israelite Woman Homestead, and it's evening time. Actually, it's night, but it gets dark really quickly out here. I noticed that since we moved out in the country, it's so dark out here and it gets dark very quickly. So it's evening, and my house is very quiet because everybody's kind of poops out and tired because we've been working hard, cleaning snow and just doing a lot of work around here. We had a huge storm and we have lots of snow to clean, and everybody just been cleaning snow like crazy, so everybody's kind of really tired. So everybody's kind of in their bed already. But I decided to do a video before I go to sleep because this past 4 days has been a really challenging time for us. Why? Because first we was away on vacation for the past 2 weeks, and then we came back and we had a broken pipe, and our pipe is underneath our house. All our plumbing systems are underneath our house, and it's very hard to get to it because it's like in the foundation kind of. I don't know what they were thinking when they were putting in those pipes, but it wasn't a good place to put those pipes. And actually it's in a crawl space, and for you to get there you actually have to dig in 2 window wells to get underneath the house. So this is really a challenge. So we came back, we had no water, no heat, because our heating system works through the water. We have a really nice heating system. It works by water. So the oil heats up the water, and then the water gets hot, and then there's something that blows air on it, and then this is the air that blows into the house. So it's a good heating system, but I mean, if you don't have any water, it's not going to work. So we came back and realized no water. We thought it was the pump, and it was not the pump, but there's a broken pipe, and we couldn't get to the pipe because we were, who can crawl in there except a cat? So it took us like 2 days to dig the window wells, and it was freezing temperature, and the earth was hard, and it was just so hard to dig this thing. But it took us 2 days, and we dig it out so somebody can crawl in there to go fix the pipe. And we had a plumber come in. We called many plumbers, and they couldn't fit in there because they were too big. Until we find this slim guy who can fit in there. Then he came and he fixed it, so that worked out. But for like 4 days we had no heat. We had to use heaters. We were freezing, right? But it all worked out well, and we had to buy water to take showers, and there was hardly any snow. Like, it was like hard snow, so you couldn't like dig it up and like use snow or something to melt to bathe. So that was like a disaster, so we couldn't do that. But now it's like 3 weeks later, and there's lots of snow outside actually, so it's a better situation. Not a better situation, but I mean, there's no snow, so you could utilize the snow that is outside if you have no water. So 2 days ago we came home, we were out, we were at church, and we came back and we realized there was no water. We're trying to turn the dishwasher on and realized there's no water. And my husband thought, okay, maybe it's the pump again. So he went and tried to restart the pump. So because we're on a well, right? So you need a pump to pump the water from the well to come into the house. And we realized, well, the pump wasn't working at all. So that was another disaster. So we had no water again. Then, so there is no heat in the house. But we have our wood stove, so thank God for that. So the wood stove heat up the house, so that was good. So we were not really freezing. Temperature was a little bit lower, but we wasn't like freezing. So that really worked out well. And since there's tons and tons of snow outside, we were able to get nice clean snow and melt it on our wood stove and our regular stove, and we had lots of water to flush our toilets and to take showers and wash dishes. And then we bought water at the store so we can drink. But that worked out awesome. But these are just some of the challenges that is living on a farm and living in an old farmhouse, because this house, as I always say in my video, it's an old house. It's over 100 years old, and so some of the pipes and some things that are in there are really old, and so things break, and so you have to be prepared for that. Even if the house is aesthetically pleasing, everything is old and ancient, so you have to kind of keep up with that, and you gotta have finances so when things break you can fix them. So yeah, so we had to somebody come in today, and they were able to try to find a solution for the problem, because first they thought it was not a broken pipe, but then no water was coming from anywhere underneath there. So they realized it wasn't a broken pipe, and eventually they figured out that the pipe wasn't broken, but the pipe was frozen. So it took them a while to defrost the pipe using steam from underneath the house, and then they had to go through the well to steam the well. So it took a lot of work, and of course again, well, a lot of money to to do that. But these are just some of the challenges that are that is there when you have old farmhouse, until you get things up to par and a little bit more modernized, and get those old pipes fixed and so they can work properly. But so there's a lot of things to do to get your house up to par. So this is one of the two challenges we had so far, moving into this farmhouse. And another challenge we have was not knowing about insulating our cellar area. So because we didn't know about how to insulate that area. I mean, when we bought the house from the previous owners, they didn't tell us, okay, we have to insulate down there. Even if they had insulation for down there, and they left it here for us, but there was like a note saying, okay, you need to insulate those window wells downstairs in the cellar, and you need to insulate the whole bottom of the porches and stuff, because that's where all the plumbing system is. After the pipe was broken, like in December, then we talked to the farmer up the hill, and he told us that you have to insulate the area. So after we had a disaster on our hands, we found out about that. So thank God we got insulated, and then we had to put in an electric system in the bottom of the cellar so that the pipes wouldn't freeze anymore. But again, we were supposed to put another heating system inside the well itself, so that the well itself would not freeze. Well, the well itself is not freezing, but the pipe that goes down in the well and then gives water to the house, that can freeze sometime, because it runs from the house to the well. So we have to keep that really that area at a certain temperature, so that pipe that goes to the well doesn't freeze. So yeah, so these are some challenges of living in an old farmhouse, and you learn things as you go. So as we live here, we learn different things on how this place function, but we're new to this, right? So we're gonna get it. But I want to just point out some of these challenges that we are having since we moving here. And I know many people have bought farmhouses, and they're old ones just like us, because I watch many YouTubers who just bought old farmhouses, 100 years old farmhouses. Some people just break it down and put a new one up, and they didn't want to bother with all that stuff. But ours, it's in really, really good condition. I mean, there's just a few things that need to be fixed and rectified, but I think once we get all the handle of all that stuff, definitely it's everything is gonna be beautiful. So yeah, so I just wanted to tell you some challenges that we are facing, and we face and overcome it living in this farmhouse. And I don't want, it's not a thing to scare you, because we still love our farmhouse. We still love everything about it. We don't want to change anything about it. We don't want to move. We don't want to go back to the city. We don't want to do anything about that. But I just want to tell any of you who are interested in living in an old house, a house that is over 100 years old, that there's a lot of things that you're going to have to be prepared for, like especially the pipes, the plumbing system. You have to check that and make sure it's in good condition. And we did check all of that, and we did know that the plumbing system was old, and but we were told that it's in good working condition. You know what I mean? But I mean, it doesn't matter how old, whatever working condition things are, things do break, and you do have to take the right precautions for things to continue running smoothly. So now we know much more about the system, and we were even given some suggestions about moving the system from underneath the cellar to upstairs. But we're not going to move it because it's not going to be aesthetically pleasing having pipes running like in up in the ceiling. Like, that's not going to look nice. We like it the way it is. And we know we're going to have to make changes. We may have to dig in the cellar and make the cellar a little bit bigger so you can access the pipes and everything like that. But I guess that's what you're going to have to do. But you live and you learn. So that's what it is. Something else I want to point out to you all is to like when you move to a farmhouse, if you have a barn, you have to check the barn and make sure everything is in good condition in that barn before you start to use it. Because in our barn is fine. We just need to put like one how you call that, like a brace in there for like a support in one area, but the rest of the barn is fine. So before you start like building stuff, putting stuff in there, like putting hay upstairs in the loft and stuff like that, make sure you check everything, have somebody come in and check things for you, because sometimes things look proper, but because I guess most of us are not like architects, so we know a lot about structures and how you call that, foundation load or whatever. We may just think, oh, it looks good, it's been standing there for 100 years, so it's good to be used. And our old barn has been standing there for 100 years and it's in good condition. I mean, we're quite surprised at the condition that is in. But I mean, the lumber and the materials that they used to make this barn, I don't think anybody will be able to tear it down. I think it's going to be standing there for the next 100 years. But one of the beam like need to be fixed. So if we're planning to put hay in that loft up there, it may be a little bit too heavy, and we may have like a little hole in the middle, maybe, I'm saying. So that we're gonna have to fix. So this is another challenge that, you know, we have to fix before we could actually like use the barn upstairs to its full capacity. But we've been using it so far. We don't have any hay up there. We just use it up there like a recreational area at the top where we sew, or we have a bed up there, we want to go up there and relax, something like that. We use that. We don't have any hay up there. And I don't think we're going to be putting hay or anything in there. I think we're just going to reconstruct that barn and make it a proper barn with different sections and rooms and stuff to do different things in there. Turn it into an office space, put a bathroom in there and other stuff in there. But yeah, so I just want to let you know about some challenges. Another challenge about living in one of those old houses way out in the country is that many plumbers, they don't want to come out here because it's a little drive. So that could be a challenge in finding people who actually want to drive out way out in the country to fix things. But so far so good. I mean, we found people to come and fix things for us, even if we had to go through like many people, 5, 6, 7 people before we actually find somebody who would actually come here or know about the area and will fix things. But the good thing about the advantage of that is when you find somebody that knows about the area and they come out, they give you a lot of information and they give you like references. Because this guy who came out today to fix our water and thaw the well, we were referred to him by the other guy who came and fixed the pipe that was broken downstairs in the cellar. So he referred us to him. So that's how we know him. And now the guy who came to fix the well, he just gave us so much information, so much tips, and you know, like if we want to do something else, we know who to call. So it's like how you say, it's like a chain. So once you find good people to do stuff for you in the country, they refer you to so many stuff. Even then, the guy who came today, he told us about the farmer up the road, that he knows him, and he worked for him, and you know, he told us some stuff, and now we know, you know, if we need something, who to go to, where to go, whatever. I needed to buy some animals, and it's funny because he owns a farm also not far from me, and his nephew who works with him also owns a farm, and they gave me some really good information on where I can buy animals and feed and different things. So I think there are some challenges. My goodness, what happened to my tongue wouldn't speak. But yes, so there's some challenges, challenges, and some little issues that you have to work with when you're living out here. But it's worth every minute of it. And would I change anything? No, I would not. Do I was I happy being here without no heat for my whole house except one area where I have the wood stove and I had no central heating or no water? Was it challenging? Yes, it was. Did I have to work harder? Yes, I did have to. But it was an experience, and it wasn't an enjoyable one, honestly, because I thought I was just like, oh, there's no water, what would I do, blah blah blah. But it's funny how you adapt to things when something happened. It's like when there was no water in the house, I mean, we melted snow like crazy, and we had sufficient water to flush our toilets and take shower and wash our dishes. I mean, it was just amazing. Everybody just worked so hard, worked together, and get this stuff done. And really, we didn't really miss the water, honestly. For like, it was, we know there was no water. Like when you go to the bathroom, you actually want to wash your hands, and then you turn the tap and it's like, oh no, we know we're supposed to wash our hands from this container. You know what I mean? Because you don't automatically go to the container to wash your hands or take water from it to wash your hands, right? You just open the pipe and wash your hands. So it was just like getting used to for a couple of days. But by the time the second day we got used to it, okay, this is to wash your hands or whatever. So it's like, it's just really amazing how you get used to things when something happens. And then now we have our water back, and this also teaches you that to conserve more. So since we had that water shortage like almost 3 weeks ago, I've decided to put like a bin inside one of my sink and wash in there, and then have another bin to rinse. So I'm not wasting so much water, because when we didn't have water for 4 days, it's like I had to do that system. And then I realized how much water that I used during the day. So that kind of made me think about like, I should conserve more water. You know, I should just have a wash area in one sink and a rinse area in one sink. And then I'll just save more water and I'd use less water, right? And some of the water that I use in my bin to rinse, I will just pour it down in my toilet to flush. And I'm like, you know what? I can actually use this water outside in the summer to water like my trees or something like that, if I use like a wash and a rinse bin with my water. So that just keep me thinking of other things I can do with my water, instead of just using have a double sink. Instead of just using the double sink and just letting water just go down the drain and stuff like that. So it just, when things happen, it's for a purpose, and it gives you ideas and help you to think, and it makes you see your environment and the things that you're doing in your home, and it helps you to conserve and to save more. So all these challenges is that we had, it worked for the good, and it worked for the benefit of us all. And I'm happy that, in a sense, that we had all this challenge, and that we walk through it, and that we're able to learn a lot and to grow and to learn to do things better. So if you're out there and you have a farm and you're having difficulties, remember that's part of having an old house, living on a farm, and you're going to have many more difficulties coming up. Other things about challenges that is on a farm is also you have to buy a lot of gears. So like you got to have the proper boots, you have to have like equipment. Like we had to buy a huge snow blower because we have a lot of driveway to blow and to clean, and we all can go there and clean the driveway on the areas that we need to walk, the paths, and like the place to the chicken coop or to the compost bin, or other areas that we use, the sheds. So you have to shovel all those areas, and so we have to buy a massive snowblower, and that costs money, and it's very heavy equipment to use and to push and stuff like that. So that comes with the territory. You have to buy a lot of equipment, even the things that if you're going to plan to have animals and stuff, you need proper fencing, and you need proper equipment to feed the animals and places to keep them warm, and you have to build buildings for them, and you have to find the proper materials and the proper things for them. So you have to be prepared for that. Even like where I live, like we have to put a big fence, not a big fence, like a gate in the front. So all those things you have to get, especially if you have animals, to keep them at bay. Like in the spring, we're gonna have to put a huge gate in the front because we're gonna have like goats, and we don't want them escaping. You're gonna have to buy electric fence if you're planning to have animals. So that's another thing. So yeah, there's a lot of things that you have to do if you're gonna live on a farm and live in and do farm things or do farm activities. And if you plan to have a huge vegetable garden, you're gonna need to put fences because there's deers and all of the animals want to come eat your beautiful vegetables and organic stuff. So you gotta put up fences, and you have to get the right fences to put up that animals wouldn't break it or able to jump over it. So there's a lot of things that will come up, and prepare. You may buy a fence, you put it up, and then deer jump over it and break it, and you have to buy another fence. Or you may buy the wrong wood and it's gonna break because it's too thin, and you have to buy a thicker one. So my tip is just prepare for challenges, but make sure that you research and you know what you're doing before you buy things or you invest in things and they're not the proper things, and then you get frustrated, and then it doesn't become a very happy experience for you. So this is my tips for you today, and all the challenges that you can face living on a farm and living in an old farmhouse. And these are some of the things that may come up for you, but like I said, if you research, if you take your time and you try not to be too busy and you take things one day at a time, it's definitely going to be a fun experience, and you're going to look back after many years when you have your beautiful farm with all your animals and things are going so smoothly. You're gonna, it's gonna be like a walk in the park for you. So thanks for watching my video, and I hope you learn from some of the tips that I tell you. I hope you use some of them, and I hope you have a happy experience if you're living on a farm, and if you're planning to buy a farm, I hope you find the one that you're actually looking for. So I'll see you in the next video, and remember, you're beautiful. It doesn't matter what anybody say, and if I can do these things, you can do them too, because it's definitely not rocket science.